Okay guys, so the drama continues. I made a video yesterday comparing the Olilife P90 foot device, which uses terahertz and PMF, to the Prife similar versions, and I went through that, and now there's been a response from John Scevola, who's one of the salespeople for the Prife devices. He doesn't like what I said, so he's attacking it. So let's have a look at what he says. He begins by saying, be wary of misinformed and or dishonest knockoff peddlers. So that's me. That's apparently either misinformed or dishonest. So he goes on to say there's a lot of misinformation and lies. Now the first thing he says, that's, I mean you can read all of it, I'm putting it up but I'm not going to read it all, but the first thing he says, which is interesting, Olilife distributors are disinforming and misinforming when they talk about their patent breaking knockoff P90 superiority. So he's claiming that it's breaking a patent. So the first thing I would say about that is, if it's breaking a patent is there to protect a product. Okay, so if it's breaking a patent, one would expect the people that own the patent to take that to court and say, hey, this other company is breaking the patent. Okay, that's not happened, it won't happen, so this is all BS, word of mouth claims without any backup. There is nobody being sued, there's not even the beginnings of anything. So I would say don't just believe what you're necessarily told without evidence, and that's just a claim without evidence. Nobody's suing anybody. Now he does say, I do have to thank one misguided Olilife distributor, that's me, again, for motivating some of us to check with the manufacturer, MLS, patent holder manufacturer. By the way, MLS is, as far as I know, I'm pretty confident is not the patent holder, that would be Dishang. So that's also wrong. Anyway, he's thanking me because why? We discovered that the iTera Bio and the new iTera Bio Lite also have PMF. That's why he's thanking me. Now, what's weird about that is he was selling this product, setting himself up as an expert, training people and selling this product for over a year, not knowing that it had PMF. I had to tell them that it had PMF, and John Scevola, as in my previous video, denied it had PMF, made a big deal about no, it doesn't have PMF, then he had to do a complete U-turn when he discovered it actually did. So this is not a guy that we can necessarily trust with having the facts. I'm not saying he's lying, I'm just saying that undisputably he didn't know what he was talking about. That has been proven in my last video, and for that he's calling me a misguided distributor who led him to find out that the device he was selling for a year had PMF. Take that for what you will, but it certainly proves that he doesn't really know what he's talking about. Now here he's talking about the wand from Prife having a patented quartz crystal. So I've looked at this quartz crystal, and I would say it's glass, it's not crystal. Anyone can look at it for themselves if they have a wand and you can see it's glass. But if it's patented quartz crystal, then let's see the patent. Never seen such a patent, don't think it exists, don't believe they'll be able to show. So I want the link to go and look at it online, wherever it's stored, to see that patent. I don't think that link will be provided because it doesn't exist. Now he goes on to make a lot of claims about what they can't do. They can't balance or energize body, chakras and meridians. They can't stimulate or target lymph nodes, vagus. But really, he's making that up. Again, just claims without any backup. They are more effective than the iTera ones or even the Olilife ones. It's amazing what it does. He has no clue. Like I say, he didn't even know it had PMF till not long ago. He doesn't have the faintest idea. All this stuff is made up. Then he goes on to say, companies around the world have been frantically trying to reverse engineer the iTera Care for the last couple of years because it works magic, and no one has been able to do it. Okay, so that's the Prife wand. So he's saying no one has been able to come up with copying their device. They've tried, but they failed. But he's just said further up that they've broken, oh, where am I? They've broken where is it? Patent breaking knockoffs. So they're using the patent illegally, is what a knockoff is, to provide an alternative wand. So how is that possible that they're using the patent and then he's saying that nobody's managed whatever it was he said? Let's find that. Here you go, and no one has been able to work it out. So, has anybody been able to work it out, or haven't they? Definitely, we're using in Olylife the same technology, only we're building it better and getting better results. But so that's just not true again. Then he goes on to say that if he had to choose between an iTerracare Classic Wand or a foot device, he would go with the Classic Wand. Now bear in mind the Classic Wand is $380 from Prife, and that the foot device is $1,300, but he thinks the Classic Wand is better, and that's what he would go with. Well, first of all, I'm sure Prife are delighted to hear you say that, John, but secondly, what I would say is it's because you don't understand the power of the foot device, because you've got the iTerra Bio, which is not anywhere near as good, and you're comparing it to that. P90, far superior. This is an interesting bit here. He says the Chinese manufacturer MLS originally sold Olylife 500 of their patented older design. He's saying actually the well, let's not go there for now. So okay, so he's just admitting that MLS, what he's calling the original patent holder on that, sold Olylife some of their product, which is interesting considering they've got the sole rights according to them. And then he says Olylife subsequently violated the patents and had another manufacturer duplicate a knockoff for them, which they call the Olylife P90. Well, didn't he just say no one has been able to do that just a minute ago? I mean, has he forgotten already what he said a couple of paragraphs back? So, like I say, this is a narrative, this is a story, this is a salesperson, it's not true. And how do we know it's not true? Because if it was true, and if MLS held the patent, which I don't believe they do, but if they did, or whoever did hold a patent, Deshang, whoever, and it was being broken by a company falsely making up a knockoff, then they should be sued. They should take them to court. And that's not happening, and it won't happen. And that should tell you everything that you need to know. So he goes back to the crystal tube and says that that's the secret of the iTerracare Prife wand. It's got a quartz crystal only made by one Chinese manufacturer exclusively for the Chinese military and Deshang Prife. Oh, not MLS. Interesting. Suddenly MLS were out of the picture because Deshang is actually the patent holder. So first of all, it's not, it's glass. If it's a Chinese military frequency, then that suggests weapon to me. Would I really want to be using a Chinese military weapon frequency at my body? Yeah, not really sure, but I don't believe that anyway. But so that's a claim that's easy to back up. If they are the only ones with the patented quartz crystal tube, then produce evidence where we can go and see the patent on a website that holds patents. Give us that evidence. I don't think you can, I don't think you will. Why? Because it's not true. And we come to the end where they say Olylife reps are claiming that their wand is equivalent of the Pro wand for a lot less, which it is. Actually, it's not really equivalent, it's better than the Pro wand, significantly better. But anyway, the wattage does not make the device more effective, he says. The iTerra Premium has less wattage than the Classic, but is a newer, more efficient design, producing a higher terahertz gap wave intensity for faster results. The iTerra Pro also costs more because it's an over-engineered, heavy-duty design for all-day non-stop use in a practitioner's clinic. Okay, so interesting. So he's claiming that the premium wand is better than the classic wand, even though it's got lower watts because it's more, it's newer technology. But which is the oldest technology is the Pro. The Pro is the oldest technology, which is substantially older than the premium and the classic, and yet that's the one they say is the best. So if you're going to say that you've changed the technology and it's improved and therefore it's better, then you can't be having your premium, most expensive wand as the oldest. That doesn't make any sense. And if you are going to say that there's been improvements in the technology, then what are those improvements? Again, no evidence or proof, just claims. So what is the difference in the power then of the premium versus the Pro? You can't answer that question, John, because there is no data, there are no patents showing anything. You've got nothing, you're just making up stories. Now the real evidence comes from actual functional use, like when people get results. That's really what we can talk all day about: crystal quartz tubes or graphene or this or that or wattage or whatever. Ultimately it comes down to results. Now the reason that I left Prife was because I heard that the results from Olylife were far superior, the quality was better, the motor was quiet, and a whole pile of different things, and it was all about results. And I left because I want to be give the best to my clients and my customers, and so I left my very good business with Prife. I was making good money, but I left it because I had a better product and I couldn't ethically do that. Now, why do I say that? Because this is what I've been hearing since before I started recommending Olylife. But I'm going to close by showing a testimonial that just came in today from someone that I don't know. They just posted it to me in one of my groups, and I'm going to share that. So here's a guy, Jim Ram. I'm going to read what he's just said. I've had an iTerra Bio for about a year. That's a Prife device, by the way. And my P90 since September 29th. Several months ago, the Bio caused massive swelling in my left foot and calf that took me almost 2 months to go back to normal. Other than that, I didn't really notice much compared to the iTerra Care ones. So he's not seeing much improvement over the Prife ones to the much more expensive 4,500 Bio. He says, I have every model ever made. Wow, that's some commitment to Prife. Anyway, it took me quite a while to try using the Bio again after the swelling incident. I've noticed definite changes in the 4 days I've had my P90. So he hasn't had his P90 very long, but he's already noticed changes. That's after not seeing much in a year of Prife. So what's he say? I'm sleeping better, going up and down the stairs is much easier, my overall balance has improved, I'm expecting more every day. In the short time I've had the P90, I believe the build quality and results are far better than the Bio. And this is the, by the way, this is the expensive one, not their cheap light version. This is their 4,500 one. So far better with the Bio, and the P90 has taken the Bio's place in my daily routine, and the Bio is going back in its box. 4,500 versus 1,065, no brainer. It's actually a bit cheaper than that usually. I'm not sure why he paid that extra. Anyway, no brainer. Olylife P90 is the clear winner in my experience and belief. Note, in order to do a proper test, I've only been using the P90 since I got it, no wanding at all. And the results I've had in 4 days with just the P90 are superior to using my Pro wand, that's a 3,800 wand, and my $4,500 Bio together. So 1,040, he's paid 1,065, P90 is outperforming all that from Prife, and that is why I recommend Olylife, and that is why what John is saying is all BS. He doesn't know what he's talking about, he's contradicting himself. The whole sue thing and all of that, not sue, the patent breaking thing, is, as far as my understanding goes, and listen, we can talk all day. One company says you broke my patent, another company saying that they didn't. Look, I don't know for sure. There's two different sides to the story, but the way to resolve that is for the company that holds a patent, if it's being broken, to take them to court, and then it's resolved. That's not happening. I don't believe it will happen because I don't believe it's true. You can make your own choice, but either way, John admits it's the same technology. Now, one thing I find it interesting is that he talks about this new iTerra Lite as the latest technology and what have you, and yet on the Prife own comparison chart it says that the iTerra Lite, the new one, is 2nd generation and their old one is 3rd generation. So the technology from a couple of years ago is later, according to this comparison chart, than the brand new Lite. So it's not the latest technology at all. So that would appear to be another lie, if this is true. Actually, I don't think this is true. I think they're saying this to justify the price difference, but whatever. You can't trust what's coming out of Prife, is the bottom line. And as I say, the results speak for themselves. And those of us that are seeing a lot of people who've used the Prife, I've got a Pro one, I've got 4, 5, 6, 7 ones actually from Prife. By the way, I still use them. They're great devices. I'm not saying they're bad, they're not. Although they've had some problems with quality issues, but my ones are working fine. But what we're seeing is that the results with the Olylife products are far, far better. And that's why I was prepared to lose a load of money and to leave Prife and start recommending Olilife. Why? Because my loyalty is to my customers, not to my pocket. So that's it. You can, again, what my suggestion is, you do your own research and find out for yourself. And if you want to pay more money for, well, essentially the iTerra Bio second generation, so it's not using the technology that they're currently using, so it's a new thing that they've not done before. You want to try the more expensive version that's not tested. There are lots of people saying they're getting better results with Olilife products versus Prife products. Will their new one be better? I don't know, but I wouldn't pay it. Over to you.